Hey guys, welcome back to Mo's Game Table. Today we're going to take a look inside the Mighty Endeavor. This is a standard combat series game from Multiman Publishing, designed by Tim Armstrong and Steve Newhouse, on the series designed by Dean Essig. And this is kind of a unique one because if you play by the rules, and you're going to be playing both sides literally while you're competing against each other and cooperating. So it's a little different. So let's take a look at the back of the box and we'll explain it a little further. It says here, the Mighty Endeavor Expanded Edition is both an updated version of the original and well received the Mighty Endeavor, with errata corrected, a couple of counters added, and made to conform to the expansion, covering the Western Front from the D-Day landings until the end of April 1945, and an expansion that adds the Eastern Front from just east of Warsaw during the same time period. So both players have plenty to do and both get to attack. One player controls the Western Allies and the East Front Germans, while the other controls the Russians and the West Front Germans. The two players compete by seeing which grouping of allies can conquer as much German territory as possible, while they also play against their opponent to stop the opposite front. Never a dull moment, as both players are always playing one side or the other at the same time. The scenarios start the campaign at various points, and as an added feature, the expansion provides a 16 December 44 Bulge campaign start for the Western Front as well. It is medium solitaire suitability and medium complexity. The component list: you get two 22 by 34 inch full color maps, one 8.5 by 11 full color map, two sheets of half-inch counters, one 8-page SCS specific version 1.7 rulebook, one 16-page TME specific rulebook, one 16-page expansion rulebook, and two dice. And that is everything you get inside. And here is an example of the map and counters on the back of the box. And if you've ever played any of the SCS games, they're very standard, no pun intended, with the half-inch counters. That's what you're going to see in most every, or in every, I should say, game in the series, which is fitting because it's the standard combat series. So let's take a look inside the box. We've got one die. I don't know where the other one went off to, but we've got one die there. And we've got our letter from, or notice from MMP as far as to what the contents of the book should be. We've got our Mighty Endeavor revised rules, we've got the series rules, and we've got the expansion rules. So we've got the three rule books in there. This is going to be standard across the board for every SCS game, and I believe there are up to version 1.8 now, which you can easily download and print out. This is not a long rule book. It's only 8 pages long, so very simple, easy to print out yourself if you need to get the latest and greatest. And I'm going to pull out all the maps, and there is that little sneaky die that was hiding in the corner. So we've got that. We'll get that out of the way, and we'll try to open up these maps so you guys can get a look at them, and then we'll take a look at everything else. But here is the first map, and I'm probably not going to be able to fit them all in here because this is a little too long for the camera view. But this is France, from south of France and part of Italy all the way up to the Netherlands, and then you have the rest of the map here, which I'm going to open up without tearing it, if I can do this without tearing it. And then we have Germany. That'll go up here. I'm not going to push it off the map because it'll just, or off the screen, you won't be able to see it. And this is the rest of Germany, which starts over there, all the way through to Berlin, Greater Germany, Slovakia, Hungary, and then you also have, where is that other one hidden on me? We've got this other little map here that is part of the expansion, and that is the 3 sections of the map that you get. And then we have our counters. Like I said, standard combat series counters, the same ones you're very familiar with if you played any of the SCS games. You use using NATO symbols. And then we've got our German and Russian, US over here, some French and UK, and some admin counters, as well as SS units up here for the Germans, and those are your 2 counter sheets. Then we've got our SCS rules the series rules, which I said version 1.7, it's up to, I believe, 1.8. Very simple. This is something you can pretty much understand very quickly. It's all basic war game information, overrun combat. You've got your Zox overrun combat, stacking, retreats, supply and out of supply, and how that works. And then we have the expansion, and we'll go, first off, we'll look at before we go to the expansion, we'll take a look at the manual for the Mighty Endeavor. This is a 16-page manual, but of that 16 pages, the rules only go to page 8, because after that you have your scenarios and your scenario setup. And this is your standard text setup that you're going to have. You're not going to see a tremendous amount of illustrated examples of play in these rules. Now you've got your unit symbols and markers explained to you here. It's got the stacking rules and exploit capable units, reinforcements, how German surrender works, emergency attacks. This expands on the SCS rules or supersedes the SCS rules. That's what you have with the series rules. This is your base system rules for the series, and then these are specific to the game that you get. Then you have port capture, you have beach ports, port capture, attack HQs, and how headquarters work, Antwerp and Rotterdam, shipping, allied supply, air points. Then you have beach classes, invasions, airdrops. Then you have German special rules, reaction restrictions, tactical adeptness, special German supply resource or supply sources, and then reinforcements down here. And there is an illustrated example of play on German surrender, how that works. And as I said, this is where the scenarios start, and it just explains to you everything, or the setup here for all the scenarios. Then you have developers notes here that explain the rules and the units, what their intent was on it, and then some players notes to give you an assistance on getting started in the game. Then you have the reinforcement charts for the Germans and the Allies at the back of the manual. Now we'll go to the expansion, and this is a 16-page rule book as well, and the rules on this one are very, very short, because they only go to page 3. They start on page 1 and they go to page 3 only about a third of the way through, and that is where you have your scenario setups for this expansion and how that works. And again, it's all in text format. Then you have designer's notes at the back. That is from Dean Essig, and then you have research notes from Carl Fung, and then a bibliography also from Carl Fung. And that is, this is going to, the only thing that's going to change up here, it looks like, is replacements, maybe a little bit different. And then you have your Allied and Soviet special rules, because remember we saw the German special rules before, now we've got Allied and Soviet special rules, and Axis special rules. They have, again, tactical adeptness, special access supply sources, and then you have Western Area A reinforcements and how those all work. But that is a rundown on everything you get in the Mighty Endeavor from Multiman Publishing. If you are wanting to play something that is a monster game in size, maybe not in scope, obviously, because it's only got 2 counter sheets. Monster games are more in the line of, like, say, 8-10 counter sheets and giant maps, but this is giant. This is a giant map, so in that regard, it is a monster size game, but a big beefy game that you want to put on a table for a long week vacation or a very long weekend vacation, maybe a 4-day vacation. You want to sit at home and play either by yourself or with a friend. This is definitely one to check out. But that is the Mighty Endeavor from Multiman Publishing. If you have any comments or questions, post them down below. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.